Kosovo is headed for local elections, the 6th since 1999, and the 4th since Kosovo's independence in 2008. The upcoming elections will be the second time Kosovars head to the polls during the pandemic, following the extraordinary general elections in February. Pandemic conditions promise to make these elections rather extraordinary as well. Unofficial campaigning kicked off in early summer, and the official campaign started on September 16th, 1 month prior to Election Day. However, due to the pandemic, some of the bigger political parties have said they will only use 5 days for in-person campaigning, and will use largely online platforms and outside venues. Though general elections tend to get all the focus, looking at local election results over time can reveal political trends that we might otherwise miss. Local elections will take place on Sunday, October the 17th in all 38 of Kosovo's municipalities. 27 municipalities are Albanian majority, 10 are Serb majority, and 1 is Turkish majority. Almost 1.9 million citizens are eligible to cast their votes for local mayors and assembly deputies, but voting turnout in previous local elections shows that not even half of eligible Kosovars vote, even though local elections are of paramount importance due to the centralised system of governance in Kosovo, where municipalities have substantial executive powers. The supply of water, the quality of primary and secondary education, the maintenance of our roads, and the running of primary medical facilities. These are only a few of the competencies entrusted to municipal governments. Between 2007 and 2017, local elections in the 27 Albanian majority municipalities were largely contests between the 3 dominant parties of the time: PDK, LDK, and AAK. Meanwhile, the political parties AKR, NISMA, and Vetëvendosja were slowly gaining an electoral foothold. Let's take a look at their rise and fall over the years. In 2007, PDK was dominant, winning 16 municipalities. It was followed by LDK with 6 municipalities, and AAK with 3. No major shake-ups occurred in the following 2009 local elections. PDK lost 1 municipality, LDK's total held at 6, and AAK rose to 5. In the 2013 local elections, voting patterns shifted, with LDK making major gains. They took 4 municipalities from PDK and 2 from AAK. Though PDK managed to take Kamenica from LDK, they lost Malasheva to an independent initiative running for elections for the first time. 2013 was also a big year for AKR, which won its first ever municipalities, taking South Mitrovica from PDK and Jakova from AAK. In the following local elections in 2017, AAK recovered, winning back Jakova from AKR, as well as taking over 2 of PDK's strongholds. That year, PDK lost another stronghold to LDK. The year's key change was VV's victory in 3 municipalities. Despite these fluctuations, between 2007 and 2017, all parties managed to hold tight to some of their traditional strongholds. For 4 local elections in a row, LDK kept power in 3 municipalities, PDK in 4 municipalities, and AAK in 2. From 2007 to 2014, voting patterns in local elections were largely identical to the patterns in general elections. In 2007, the overall local and general election voting patterns matched each other exactly. And the parties performed almost identically in the 2009 local elections, as they did in the snap general elections of 2010. The pattern held true for the 2013 local elections and the 2014 general elections. There was one major change in 2013. Pristina, which LDK had governed since 1999, fell to Shpendar Meti, who was at the time with VV, but in the subsequent general elections, LDK managed to maintain its hold on the capital's vote. In 2017, general and local elections occurred 5 months apart, and the electoral results for the 2 began to diverge. For example, in the June general elections, Vetëvendosja came out on top in 10 out of 27 municipalities, their best performance yet, but in local elections later that year, they only won 3. The same year, PDK, AAK and NISMA ran as a coalition in general elections, winning 13 of 27 municipalities. In the local elections, they won 13 in total, 5 for PDK, 7 for AAK, and 1 for NISMA. That year's LDK-AKR coalition came out first in 4 municipalities in general elections, while LDK managed to win 8 municipalities in local elections. In this year's general elections in February, the map turned largely one colour. VV won more votes and a higher percentage of the vote share than any other party in Kosovo's electoral history, coming out on top in 23 municipalities. As a result, PDK and LDK had their worst ever showings. PDK and AAK got the highest share of votes in only 2 municipalities, and LDK in none. While VV performed well in the strongholds of LDK, PDK and AAK in general elections, the municipalities could go any way in the upcoming local elections. On October the 17th, all incumbent mayors are up for another run, except for 3. Shpendarmeti in Pristina, LDK's Haki Rugova in Istog, and NISMA's Ragip Begay in Malesheva. Meanwhile, 2 incumbent mayors are running as independents. Bekim Yashari is running for a second term in Skenderai, and Rufki Suma for a 4th term in Hani Ilezit. Pristina and South Mitrovica seem to be the municipalities where the race is particularly heated. LDK, which ran Pristina until 2014, is trying to win it back with a political newcomer, architect Peperim Rama. VV has put forward the now former Minister of Health, Arben Vitia, while Uran Ismaili, another former Minister of Health, is PDK's candidate. In South Mitrovica, the 2-term incumbent, Agim Batiri from AKR, has now switched to VV and is facing PDK's Bedri Hamza, formerly the Minister of Finance and Governor of the Central Bank of Kosovo. Sounds like just a bunch of men so far, right? In 2007, only 2 women ran for a mayorship. This year, 11 women are running. Though there's been an increase over time, women are still deeply underrepresented in local elections. For the upcoming local elections, VV has nominated only 2 women for mayoral positions. PDK nominated 4 women, and LDK 3. In Albanian majority municipalities, Mimosa Kusari Lila is the only woman who has been elected mayor. She won Jakova with AKR in 2013, but lost in 2017 to AAK when she ran on her own Alternativa list. She is now running for mayor in Jakova again, this time with VV. One of her opponents is another woman, Arbanesha Kuchi, a candidate from PDK. One of the women running with LDK is Sibel Halimi in Ferazai. Halimi joined LDK this year, was elected to its leadership, and then appointed as party spokesperson. Local elections in the 10 Serb-majority municipalities have had a different trajectory, because local Serbs only began to participate in official Kosovo elections in 2013. Until 2013, Serb-majority municipalities were governed through an electoral process directly controlled and operated by the government of Serbia, though the results weren't recognised by Kosovo or the international community. Kosovo's government ran elections in these municipalities, but effectively no Serbs participated. While Albanian political parties won these elections, they had no governing capacity. As a result of the Brussels Agreement, in 2013, these municipalities began participating in Kosovo's electoral process. All of the municipalities, barring Sturps, were won by the citizens' initiative GI Srpska. In 2017, the party Srpska Lista was formed, largely composed of the same people as GI Srpska, and became similarly dominant in the Serb-majority municipalities, routinely winning over 90% of Serb votes in both local and general elections. On October 17th, Kosovo will see whether establishment parties can hold on to or win back their strongholds, whether the current ruling party can maintain the energy that propelled them to victory in February, and what direction the country's municipalities will take for the next 4 years. Ultimately, the citizens will decide at the polls.